Going to do our 12 o'clock check. We've got 1690 on the controller. So it's 12 o'clock and we've got 1690. Now you'll notice that it's blinking back and forth between the temperature and this number right here, 0.26. That is the hold portion. It's counting down an hour at the very beginning of reduction in this firing schedule. We hold for an hour with the damper at a particular setting. You'll see now it's 25. So the kiln is just keeping track of how long it's staying at that damper position. So we'll come over here. The next column is the gas, and that is right at 4. Next is air, and the air is right at 0.15. And next is damper, so we'll take a look at that. On either side of the damper box, you can see there's a black triangle and a gauge, and that's pointing right at 2. So the damper is at 2 inches. And next is oxyprobe. Around here. Oxyprobe is kind of jumping back between 738, 736. You just want to take kind of a mental average of what you see here. So I'm going to call it 737. Alright, now, so we've written all these things down. How do we know if those are the right things? Let's come outside. And up on the wall here, there's a chart. We've got a chart that says gas and air presets. We've got a chart that says firing schedules and a chart that says kiln atmospheres. So whenever you're checking the kiln, take a look at what you've written down and check that against these charts. So we had a reading of 4 on the gas, and so we're firing the 30C, and we've got a reading of 4 for our low gas, which is correct. We've got a reading of 0.15 for air, which for the 30C, that is between 0.15 and 2 is going to be our low air reading. So what does that tell us? We're going to come down and look at glaze in the 30C. We know we're at about 1690, which the first ramp here goes up to about 1590 with the damper at 6 inches. So we know we're past that segment. So what is ramp 2? It's low gas, which was that 4 reading, low air, which was 0.15 reading, that's what we had. And we had that hold going for about an hour. So we know that we're in this ramp 2 segment right here. Our damper was at 2 inches, which is correct. And our oxyprobe is supposed to be reading heavy reduction. So how do we figure that out? Come down here to the kiln atmospheres chart. We're at about 1700, 1690. I'm going to take that up until we get to 737 is what we were reading, so a little bit more than 700. So at 1700 and a little bit over 7, we're definitely in heavy reduction here. So that means everything is correct. Now what if something is wrong? It shouldn't be wrong. If it's totally out of whack, give the kiln chair a call. If it's just slightly off, like if the gas looks like it's at 3.75 instead of 4, or if the gas looks more like 0.1, then make a slight adjustment manually. Okay, the other thing we do is we want to calculate our temperature change and our degrees per hour. So we have a time period of 11:30 to 12, which is a half an hour. And we're going to just subtract our current temperature from our last reading's temperature. So that's 81, and we've got a half an hour's worth of time So to get our degrees per hour, we're just going to multiply that by 2. And that's 162. Now, for the beginning of the firing, when we were in that first ramp segment, 300 degrees per hour up to 1590. We were hitting about 290, 306, about 300 degrees per hour. For this segment, which is the ramp 2, where we're doing a reduction hold, the temperature climb isn't quite as important. We can look in the gas kiln book under the tab for the firing that we're doing, 30C glaze, and look at the last kiln log. When you're comparing, you can compare the temperature to the temperature, that's probably the closest reading, 1665 compared to 1690, and they were going at about 162 degrees per hour right then, which is exactly the same as what we're doing right now. So comparing these two numbers, it's not always going to be close. If the kiln is packed more tightly, it's going to go slow. If it's looser, it might go faster. But it gives you at least some kind of meter to know if you're on track. Alright, so here we are. We're going to do our 1 o'clock check. I've already written the temperature down, but it was 1880 when I checked. You can see that we've just got the temperature now. We're not blinking back and forth between the temperature and the hold, which means that hold has ended. So we've got gas. Our gas is at 6, so that's a change. And our air is at 0.4. Okay, that's also a change. And we are at 2 1/4, or no, 2 1/2. Our damper is at 685, 84. I'm going to call it 684. So 190, and I missed a check here, so this is for an hour, so I don't have to do any multiplication. And let's just take a look at our chart here. So ramp number 3, we're going to be high gas and high air, which is what we've got, up to 2000 degrees, dampers at 2 1/2, which is what we have, and we want our OxyPro to be reading medium to heavy reduction, and we had 684 at about 1880 up to 600, 684, so we're still in heavy reduction. This is going to get gradually less as the firing progresses.